Fashion. We're back in store with Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine.
Hiya.
Tell us a little bit about this piece.
This over here is an ivory brocade corseted fitted top which has appliqued deep maroon all the way down with very traditional kundan embroidery and also some dabka zardozi weaves going all the way through. The skirt has a double layered effect, so it's a net overlay on a brocade, and the panels going up are quite crystallized. Then the underlayer obviously has the kundan embroidery with a deep antique brocade piping finishing it off. The back of the lehenga has a beautiful trail which also is finished off with a lovely antique border, the kundan embroidery and the beautiful brocade. We've got a really standing out back motif in the back trail which really brings out the lehenga.
And a piece like this with all the crystals, I imagine it to be quite heavy.
It actually, when worn, it's actually not a really heavy piece because the embroidery is a lot more placement and centralized. But yeah, it is definitely one of the high-end designer pieces that we do.
And how much would a piece like this cost?
Something like this is a 2,200 as is, and obviously it could be made a lot heavier or a lot lighter, as I said, to work within somebody's budget.
And what kind of brides are you finding buying something like this?
Brides are moving...
culture, like a particular religion, or...?
Traditionally, these are colors which are more suitable for Gujarati brides. But having said that, we're finding a lot of Bengali Muslim, Gujarati Muslim brides also going for the ivories and the deep reds with just a hint of the greens and purples coming in. So this is something which works for brides literally all over the...
And I noticed that the dupatta is quite light, it's net. So it's not heavy, it's not like completely all... I don't know what they call it, completely.
The fully decked up dupattas?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is a net tulle dupatta, something which is definitely very much in vogue at this point. Brides do want the accessories to show within the drape, so they want the accessories and the hair to show, they want the way the hairdo's been done to reflect within the entire garment. So, yes, the dupatta has been kept quite light within the center.
Yeah, so if someone has a high hairpiece or a big bun then with all the jewels, and you can see that through the net.
Yeah, definitely.
It's beautiful.
Fashion.
Now this piece seems quite different to the normal reds and the whites that we're seeing a lot of. Could you tell us a little bit about this piece?
Yeah, that's right. Colors like this are something that we're doing a lot towards fall 2012 and spring-summer 2013, which is very deep, rich velvets and deep silks. So that's a deep maroon velvet blouse finished off with a lovely two-tone deep navy blue silk skirt. The embroidery on this is extremely antique, so there's a lot of zardozi, zari, dabka and a lot of crystals just to bring it out, but within the placement. We've got a very deep antique border at the bottom along with again the velvet to bring out the skirt. Likewise, the dupatta on this is a veil style dupatta, so it's a much lighter feel as a dupatta because it's not a traditional four-cornered dupatta, it's shaped more like a veil. So it drapes a lot better and gives the outfit a more contemporary edge. Likewise, this has a lovely trail and a beautifully bespoke motif just in the back to bring out the length in a garment.
Are these trails detachable?
Most of these trails are detachable or pinned in. Something like this we can't detach because the motif flows into the embroidery at the bottom. So something like this is what we call a pinned in trail. So it's something that if a bride is getting onto the dance floor, she can literally pin it all the way inside. And it forms a very clear little line at the bottom, so there's a lovely finished garment.
It's a beautiful piece. Are you seeing more brides wearing colours like this?
A lot of brides would not move away from the traditional reds at all. But at the same time, there are brides who want to experiment a little bit, so they'll bring in the other colors. We are doing a lot of deep navy blues, some teals, along with the maroons and the reds. So we are bringing the other color in, but there still has to be a little bit of the red. As is a lot of times we find that makeup artists also tend to tell the brides to have another color within the garment, just because they can do a lot more when there's a wider color palette. So, you know, they can work a lot more on the bride's eyes, and even with the jewelry, they can actually really do a lot more just because they've got more of a color range going in. Yet at the same time, something like this, we wouldn't recommend for a very petite bride, just because having too many colors in a garment breaks their height and makes them look a lot smaller than, you know, what they actually are.
It's beautiful. How much would this set you back?
Something like this is 1,950.
It's lovely. And I noticed a piece over here that caught my eye.
Yeah, that's just actually come in. It's a beautiful velvet skirt. So it's an A-line skirt, a lovely drape, and very crystallized, a double-layered skirt. So we've got the net edging coming as a little frill at the bottom, gives it a very delicate finish, because velvet is a very heavy, it's a very rich fabric, yet it's got a very heavy drape. So the net at the bottom gives it a much more delicate, girly, feminine edge. We've got lovely bobbles at the ends to just finish off the skirt. The blouse to this is a brocade. So it again breaks down the velvet, gives a lovely edge at the blouse.
What material is this?
That's a brocade. It's an antique weave brocade.
Fashion.
So this pieces are all in one, right?
That's right. This is a one-piece dress. Again, something that's really popular in terms of a lot of girls are moving away from doing lehengas and you know, traditional outfits, and they're moving towards a more contemporary styling. So they want the ball gowns, the long dresses, yet sticking to the traditional motifs, the traditional embroideries. So this has all the zari, the zardozi, the antique kora, the crystals coming within the embroidery, yet the cut is very contemporary.
It's a beautiful piece. How much a piece like this cost?
Something like this is 1,600. This is in a two-tone ruby pink in terms of the fabric. Comes with a matching veil. So the veil again has embroidery like a normal dupatta, so it's got a four-corner embroidery, and it's got the nice big motif which will sit on the head. But yes, it has been cut and styled as a dress, so it's got an inbuilt corset, and it really nicely cinches in the waist and gives a very flattering shape.
And you can change the colour and,
completely.
And put sleeves on it if you need
100%. Most of our brides would anyways like sleeves. Sleeves right now that are in fashion are the very jeweled look in terms of the embroidery. So we do completely jeweled sleeves and give it a very ornate and bridal edge.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And this piece is a little bit more traditional.
Yeah, that's a traditional red. So that's a traditional red on the skirt, and we've gone more maroon in terms of the blouse. So the blouse is the maroon silk with a very beautiful applique zari embroidery going all the way, but enhanced with the crystals. Likewise for the skirt, it's got a fully crystallized panel going all the way. There's a lot of brides who on their main day, on the wedding day, would always want to be in the traditional reds and have the fully crystallized lehengas. So something like this is what we do a lot of.
Something like this, I've noticed with your skirts, they're quite fitted, and that's everywhere at the moment. It's quite fitted from it comes out. Is this good for brides that are going to be sitting on the floor, like gurdwaras, Sikh weddings?
Yeah, this is definitely a gurdwara skirt. We don't do skirts for gurdwara weddings which are fishtails or which are really fitted up to the knee, or mermaid style skirts.
So this one's okay to sit down?
Yeah, this is an A-line skirt. It flares out beautifully. So, you know, weddings are all about pictures. You've got to have beautiful pictures in terms of memories to fall back on. And obviously something like this drapes really beautifully. If you're sitting down, getting up, bowing down, it gives a lovely edge. The garment does not look frumpy or you know, does not make the bride at any point look or feel uncomfortable.
And we've saved the best piece for last. It's this piece, and this is the most expensive piece you got in store, isn't it?
Definitely, and yet at the same time one of the most popular pieces. It's a extremely intricate embroidered jal on the skirt. Something like this, just to make within our factory, takes a minimum 6 months, because we can't have too many karigars, that are the embroiders, sitting on a piece like this. We can only have the few people who can do this sort of kora embroidery. So it's very fine embroidery.
It's really fine. You can't even see how much embroidery is on it actually until you come really close. There's so much detail here. Because when I was standing across the shop, I couldn't even notice how much they were.
Yeah, this has a very, very detailed skirt panel. It is definitely one of our most expensive pieces, but at the same time, we have done variations of this for brides where we've done much lighter skirts, we've done brocades on the tops, we've literally taken away the entire paneled look and added, you know, a much lighter velvet, a much lighter brocade, a much lighter paneled in skinnier embroidery motifs sort of a look. So you could obviously make anything work within an X budget if you play around with the embroideries.
Something this heavy, could you also get it done in a mermaid skirt, the fitted tight ones? Or is it too heavy? Is it too much embroidery on it to do that?
Something like this definitely is too much embroidery, in the sense that fabrics need to breathe. On a A-line skirt, when a fabric is so intricately woven, it still has the spaces to be able to stretch out a little once worn.
Movement.
Yeah, with the movement, a mermaid skirt with such intricate embroidery would not have any stretchability, and in the long run not very feasible. So yes, we wouldn't really recommend it, but we would work out the placement. So we wouldn't really add it much on the top, we'd probably give it more at the bottom, and we'd make it work, but in a different
way.
It's
got a very antique look to it.
Yeah, extremely antique. The dupatta on that is a beautifully embroidered 3-paneled border, and there's these lovely motifs going all the way through.
Balls at the end of the dupatta as well. I love that.
You know what? Literally every Jusst Pink outfit would have the finishing touches of lovely baubles, and every drawstring that we would do would not just be left as an empty finish. It has to be just impeccable finishing. Likewise for the backs, we never leave backs as no one's going to see the back, just leave it. The backs have to be beautifully finished. They have to reflect the entire garment. They have to be as beautiful, if not more, than the front.
And this piece is very heavy.
Extremely heavy.
How much would it actually weigh? Do you know how much it weighs?
Yeah, well, I definitely do, because I've had something like this weighs between 8 to 10 kilos.
Wow.
Just a skirt.
That's very heavy.
That's an extremely heavy skirt.
So, wow, okay. And something like this, how much would actually set someone back?
Something like this is priced at 3,800.
Wow, so it's quite expensive, but it's beautiful. It's definitely worth it. You've got such beautiful pieces here.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for perfect bridal wear, come down to Jusst Pink.
Thank you.